Good morning, everybody. Happy hump day to you on this Wednesday, September 24th, 2025. I have all of your stories for your rush hour ride to work. And as you guys know, I've been reporting from on location at a very exclusive and secluded place. I can't tell you where, but I will be giving you all the content you need to get your day started. Mainly today's episode, including Jimmy Kimmel going back to work. We're going to dive into this real botch job by Disney ABC as they took him off the air, now brought him back. 20% of the stations are not airing him right now in a protest. But what does that all mean? We're going to continue to dive into this very dangerous and wild time to be alive. I mean, we have to talk about this. If they can get Jimmy Kimmel kicked off, you know, your boy Dave here could be gone tomorrow and you wouldn't even know. So again, we'll share all of these updates. Joe Rogan supporting Jimmy Kimmel, Donald Trump actually threatening ABC now. And then we're going to discuss what he had to say at the United Nations and his flip on Ukraine, now supporting a full out, Ukraine military response to the invasion that, of course, has happened in the last several years by Russia. Wild time to be alive. These stories and more, it all starts right now on The Rush. So let's dive right into Jimmy Kimmel. Perez Hilton reporting Jimmy Kimmel staff prepared to walk out if he gives in and apologizes for Charlie Kirk aftermath comments. Now, words are important. What you say matters. And Jimmy Kimmel did not apologize. But I think he did a very good job of explaining where his head was at when it came to everything that went down. Again, he didn't make fun of Charlie Kirk. He made fun of Donald Trump, and he said that MAGA will point the finger at anyone else but themselves when it comes to, what the shooter's motivation was. And again, everyone says, oh, he's saying the shooter was MAGA. And again, that wasn't the case. That was the politicization immediately following the shooting by a lot of people, including the president and political pundits, in trying to make this, anything more than just a deranged madman. So here is Jimmy Kimmel choking up. And as I record this happened just moments ago. I'm outside the country and I was able to watch this live. By the end of Jimmy Kimmel's monologue, I was standing on my feet watching it like it was fourth quarter of a important football game. And it is important what he had to say. Defiantly speaking his truth, knowing the world is watching. The ratings for this episode are going to be through the roof. Here's what he had to say.
Never my intention to make light of the murder of a young man. I don't think there's anything funny about it. I posted a message on Instagram on the day he was killed, sending love to his family and asking for compassion, and I meant it, and I still do. Nor was it my intention to blame any specific group for the actions of what it was obviously a deeply disturbed individual. That was really the opposite of the point I was trying to make. But I understand that to some that felt either ill-timed or unclear or maybe both. And for those who think I did point a finger, I get why you're upset. If the situation was reversed, there's a good chance I'd have felt the same way. I have many friends and family members on the other side who I love and remain close to, even though we don't agree on politics at all. I don't think the murderer who shot Charlie Kirk represents anyone. This was a sick person who believed violence was a solution, and it isn't. Ever.
And by the way, just like what got him in trouble in the first place was making fun of Trump, he went hard into Trump on this monologue. He also thanked Candace Owens, Joe Rogan, and Ted Cruz, amongst others, for their support. And it really showed that support can come, it doesn't have to be just left-leaning people. Really, anyone who understands free speech here and knows what is at stake was rooting Jimmy Kimmel on. You don't have to watch his show to know that he has a place at the table. Now, this is what has annoyed me from the beginning, is that Trump, he knows what he did. His FCC chair basically said, we can do this the easy way or the hard way. That's exactly what he said, mob boss style. And I hate that Trump kind of tried to play both sides and not take credit for it. And then people said, oh, he was fired for ratings. Oh, yeah? Well, then why are they bringing him back? And now that they're bringing him back, people are saying, oh, well, it was a whole stunt they did just for ratings. No, Disney lost a lot of money on this. People canceled their accounts. Some will never come back. And yeah, it was a very, very powerful speech. He talked about Lenny Bruce, a comedian, historically who was, sent to jail, handcuffed and dragged out of comedy clubs for back in the day just for saying words. George Carlin. These are comedians that had a spine. They had brass balls, and they were able to speak truth to power. And Jimmy Kimmel has been catapulted into that moment, regardless of whether you think he's funny or not, regardless of if you want to laugh at him for when he gets emotional and cries. None of that matters. What matters is in this moment, with the spotlight on him as he returns to late night, he criticized the hell out of Trump. He criticized the FCC chair, Brendan Carr. He just made a full mockery out of them. He actually said something very interesting. He says, isn't this ridiculous? And we're going to have all of the clips. They're going to be going viral. But he said, isn't it ridiculous that Sinclair Media, Nexstar Media, these large corporations that own these different ABC stations that are now, in I think Portland and Nashville and Washington, D.C., amongst other cities, they are not airing Jimmy Kimmel. They're boycotting him. And he said, wouldn't that be crazy if a cell phone carrier decided which podcasts you get to listen to? It's like, what are they doing? It's absolutely wild out there. Here's another clip.
He did his best to cancel me. Instead, he forced millions of people to watch the show. That backfired bigly. He might have to release the Epstein files to distract us from this now.
Jeez. I mean, he's throwing haymakers out there. Absolutely. Here's Donald Trump's response to Jimmy Kimmel coming back. I can't believe ABC fake news gave Jimmy Kimmel his job back. The White House was told by ABC that his show was canceled. Something happened between then and now. Because his audience is gone, his talent was never there. Why would they want someone back who does so poorly, who's not funny, and who puts the network in jeopardy by playing 99% positive Democrat garbage? He's yet another arm of the DNC, and to the best of my knowledge, that would be a major legal campaign contribution. I think we're going to test ABC out on this. Let's see how we do. Last time I went after them, they gave me $16 million. This one sounds even more lucrative. A true bunch of losers. Let Jimmy Kimmel rot in his bad ratings. Folks, this is the President of the United States wishing Jimmy and the hundreds of people that work on that TV show to lose their jobs. He says he's going to go after Jimmy Fallon, Seth Meyers, maybe SNL even. Who knows at what point is it enough? The View. And the idea that the president would be actively rooting against comedians and the sort of free speech that we hold so dearly, that so many countries don't have. It's really the strongest symbol of what it means to be an American. The ability for comedians to speak truth to power, to use political satire to make fun of their leaders. This is something that that we need to honor and cherish, as dumb as it sounds. Here's what Joe Rogan had to say. Joe Rogan, he's all over the place on different issues. He's right-leaning on some, libertarians, left-leaning on some. He was a Bernie supporter, then endorsed Donald Trump. He's all over the place. But, that's how Americans are. They're complicated. Here's what he had to say about the attack on free speech.
I think that the government should be involved ever in dictating what a comedian can or cannot say in a monologue. That's right. Fucking crazy.
It's crazy.
Now, if the problem is the companies, if they're being pressured by the government, so if that's real, and if people on the right are like, yeah, go get them, oh my God, you're crazy. You're crazy for supporting this, because this will be used on you. You don't think that the fucking globalist lizard people who run the world are sitting here going, great, what do we got, 3 years? We'll wait this out. We'll wait this out. Yeah.
And by the way, I understand the argument. You shouldn't want this because it'll be used against you too. That being when the Democrats are in power, they'll silence the Republicans. I hate that way of thinking. How about just supporting free speech because it's the most American thing you can do? And this could be the thing that brings our country together. along with the Epstein files and, other very populist ideas like universal health care, taxing the rich. I mean, this should be the stuff that brings us together. Free speech. And again, the left has been guilty of sort of being overtaken by the sort of, loud but small, loud but minor voices. I say minor because there aren't many of them, but very loud people on the far left have been able to sort of dictate the terms of purity culture, like what standards you need to live up to. And I think most people, they're kind of done with that, right? They're saying, like, look, free speech. We need people out there talking, even if you disagree with it. It's the only way that we can understand what's good and bad is if we just hear it all out. I agree.
Let them say the government should be involved in censoring people's speech. Yeah. Let them support that. Let these fucking dumbasses, because Jimmy Kimmel's a leftist, let these dumbasses think it's a good idea and we should celebrate that.
That's the most toxic shit I keep seeing.
Yeah, so actually, Jimmy Kimmel, he thanked Joe Rogan, on his show. All right, when we come back, I'll share another clip of what Joe Rogan had to say and why he's taking such a hard stance on supporting free speech, along with he's actually getting support from a panelist on Fox News. We'll be back with that and more coming next. Today's episode of the Rush Hour Podcast is brought to you by Lisa. That's right, your boy's in the mattress game. I've made it, okay? And thanks to Lisa, we can offer 25% off to my listeners with the code Rush Hour. I've chosen actually the Reserve Hybrid mattress. It is unparalleled comfort with luxurious high-density memory foam designed to completely cradle your body for the most restful sleep. Don't you just want your body cradled? We all crave that, right? And of course, you get a better sleep, you wake up bushy-tailed, ready to seize the day. And you can go to lisa.com for 25% off, plus get an extra $50 off with promo code RUSHHOUR, exclusive for my listeners. And by the way, 100-day return policy. They ship the box to you. You choose on their website. 20,000 five-star reviews. Need I say more? LEESA.com, promo code RUSHHOUR for 25% off, plus an extra $50 off. Be sure to enter our show name after checkout so they know we sent you. Lisa.com, promo code RUSHHOUR. Today's episode of the Rush Hour Podcast is sponsored by Tropical Smoothie Cafe, one of my favorites. Ooh, are they delicious. Start your day with a protein-packed breakfast from Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Oh, you thought they only had delicious smoothie options? You're mistaken. Pair that smoothie with a toasted breakfast wrap, order ahead online, and earn rewards with the Tropical Smoothie Cafe app. Like to customize things? Add more good vibes to your smoothie. Fresh add-ins like almonds, spinach and kale, chia seeds, or supplements like protein and Energizer. My favorite smoothie is the Peanut Paradise, chock full of 22 grams of protein. My wife loves the mixed berry Greek yogurt bowl topped with fresh strawberries and blueberries, which comes with a whopping 26 grams of protein. Make every day a getaway with our bold flavors and better-for-you pairings only at Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Tropical Smoothie Cafe, you're on Tropic Time now. Now back to the show. I think one of the reasons Joe Rogan and other comedians are so staunchly in support of free speech is they understand, the slippery slope of who gets to decide what's dangerous, who gets to decide what's hate. And we're going to share a response to the idea that Pam Bondi is going to tighten up some of these hate speech laws to make certain speech, illegal? I mean, it's just ridiculous. Where does it end?
No. You don't get to decide. Because without free speech, I don't know who's right. And I can't just go on narratives. That's how religions work. That's how cults work. They make you go on a very specific narrative and you can't go outside the lines. If you want the human race to evolve, if you want people to evolve culturally, if you want people to communicate better, they got to be able to say whatever they want.
And the truth is, you have to risk being offensive. And comedians know that. In order to tell a joke, you have to risk, am I going to cross the line? And you sort of work that out in real time. And sometimes it backfires, but you have to take that risk. You don't know until you go there. And it doesn't mean there aren't consequences. That's what makes it dangerous sometimes, is that there are consequences if a joke doesn't work out, or you go on a rant and it doesn't come out the right way, or you say words, that's part of the dance. What's interesting is Sinclair is one of the conglomerates that is holding off on airing Jimmy Kimmel. And here we have somebody at a school board meeting refusing to talk to a reporter because a news station is owned by Sinclair. This is a whole different form of boycotting here. We've got the celebrities, the actors that were boycotting Disney, Olivia Rodrigo and others. It was reported that they were pulling out of projects over this. And now we have a school board member, good for him, saying, "I'm not going to talk to you. You work for Sinclair."
Is there anything the board is going to do involving reviews of that high number too?
I don't talk to Sinclair.
Everyone else is here.
Okay.
That's good. So the school board member there not answering our questions. Sinclair, he's referring to Sinclair Broadcasting, our parent company.
And it's like, look, don't take offense to it. It's like people don't want to do the dance with these companies that have a clear agenda. Here on Fox News, you have people responding on very conservative TV shows to how dangerous it is right now for the FCC boss to act like a mob boss.
They had just decided to get rid of Kimmel, so be it. As a market decision, I don't think he's been funny in at least a decade, and I think what he said about Charlie Kirk was gross. But I think it's really, really reprehensible, and I do think it's an attack on the First Amendment for the FCC chairman to speak almost like a mafia boss and say, nice license your member stations have there. It'd be a shame if something happened to it, right? He said, his exact words were, we can do this the easy way or the hard way.
Correct.
If you don't take action on Kimmel.
However,
that's jawboning.
So now we have the host trying to cut this guy off, Will Kane here, trying to cut the guy off to sort of re-steer the ship. How funny is that? Oh, just funny stuff. Now here we have Scott Galloway, NYU professor. He makes more money than God on his podcast, something like $20 million last year. Unbelievable. And he's a truth teller. And he's saying what we need now is a national strike. This is a huge call to arms, economically speaking. And I think what people are realizing after the Jimmy Kimmel situation is their vote does matter. Enough people did speak up for ABC to quickly bring Jimmy Kimmel back. Would that happen with a national strike? Have a listen.
I'm now more emboldened, convinced that a national economic strike is the way to go here, because what happened here was they started getting, actors probably called and said, I'm not going to work with Disney. Mm-hmm. They saw thousands of screenshots being sent to them saying, okay, I'm canceling Hulu. This was about money. This has nothing to do with principles. This was, oh no, we fucked up. We miscalibrated. We took the wrong temperature. We made the wrong decision. People are canceling their subscriptions, canceling their trips to Disney, canceling their movie. They're not going to work with us. It's going to hurt our share price. So all of a sudden, we have found our testicles.
There it is, found their testicles. And again, as we've said before, these corporations are psychopathic, right? They're only going to do the right thing if presented with, financial reasons. Here's Cenk Uygur from Young Turks talking to Tucker Carlson, which is very interesting. You have a progressive news show talking to Tucker Carlson, who's a very conservative voice, but they can agree on one thing, which is you need to be able to talk.
The idea of making laws against hate speech in honor of Charlie Kirk.
No, I know.
Okay, that's like if I passed away and they're like, in honor of Cenk, we're all going to go on a diet.
Tell me about it. Or the Tucker Carlson no pizza law. No, I agree.
So again, they're just showing how insane it was. Say what you want about Charlie Kirk. He wanted people to talk, even if you were going to completely disagree with him. And for them to use this, it goes to show how disgusting it is that you would use someone's death to try to further an agenda. I mean, look at Charlie Kirk's memorial. Sure, his wife spoke, but you didn't hear anyone else from his family speak. It was just a campaign rally for them. They're using him. And again, that's the grift. Trump's United Nations speech yesterday was insane. Here's a clip that's only 22 seconds long. Have a listen.
And I'm really good at predicting things, you know. They actually said during the campaign they had a hat, the best-selling hat. Trump was right about everything. And I don't say that in a braggadocious way, but it's true. I've been right about everything. I'm really good at this stuff. Your countries are going to hell. Proud to see this morning I have the highest poll numbers I've ever had.
So he doesn't have the highest poll numbers. He's actually got the lowest poll numbers of any president ever, including his own lowest poll numbers. So it's not good for him. Again, we're going to see how this all plays out, but you've got a lot of people speaking up, and it's what it's like. You ever try to drink a glass of water and there's a bunch of ice at the back and the ice is kind of all jumbled up and you keep tipping the glass and then all of a sudden the ice all just comes out at once? I kind of feel like that's what's about to happen, which is people are so fed up with the lack of follow through on any of the campaign promises. I mean, it's true, right? I'm going to end these wars on day one. Didn't do it. He's actually completely flipping on that. Concepts of a healthcare plan. The tariffs are going to be good. We're going to lower the prices on things. I tried to buy my son sandals the other day. They were $70. Are you kidding me? These tariff wars have hurt the middle class. Farms are closing. Hospitals are closing. This is not good. So here is, I believe, this is somebody who worked high up in the Department of Justice saying this is a code red moment. This moment being where Trump has blatantly and transparently announced that he's trying to get Pam Bondi to prosecute his political enemies.
I'm Mark Totten, former United States Attorney. In the past 48 hours, the president has all but directed his attorney general to bring criminal charges against his political foes. Folks, this is a code red moment. Let me explain why. There's a saying among prosecutors that any prosecutor with a shred of integrity lives by. It's a saying I repeated often, including when I announced charges against a former Speaker of the House for public corruption. And the saying goes something like this: the prosecutor must follow the evidence wherever it leads, without fear or favor, with independence and impartiality. The president has thrown that principle out the window, and he's not even hiding it.
So there it is, happening in plain sight. Here's another interesting story here. Trump tweeted this, completely flips on what he thinks about Ukraine. After getting to know and fully understand the Ukraine-Russia military and economic situation, and after seeing the economic trouble it is causing Russia, I think Ukraine, with the support of the European Union, is in a position to fight and win all of Ukraine back in its original form. With time, patience, and the financial support of Europe, and in particular NATO, the original borders from where this war started is very much an option. Why not? Russia has been fighting aimlessly for 3.5 years, a war that should have taken a real military power less than a week to win. Now, I don't think he wrote this because it's very coherent, but he's absolutely right. Russia should have won. They were supposed to take Kiev in like 2 or 3 days, and Ukraine has fought for their life. And I've been one who's supported, the world sending support to them, because Russia's not just trying to invade Ukraine. Then they're going to come for Poland and, I don't know, all these other satellite countries. So, but Trump getting into the game, I mean, what's this going to do to his base? Do they even care that he's changing his campaign promises? I'm not sure. But this just goes to show how what a disaster that Oval Office was, where Trump and J.D. Vance and Marjorie Taylor Greene's boyfriend, they all lambasted Zelensky, president of Ukraine, right? They came after him hard, and now they want to support him. It's like, I don't know why he's taking this stance. Is it because he wants the U.S. in a war? Because it diverts attention away from him having the lowest ratings? I really don't know. But either way, it's going to affect all of us. That's for sure. Last story of the day. Today's show this morning talked about acetaminophen. Did I pronounce that right? Tylenol, and how President Trump is now saying that this is the cause of autism. It is not true. There's no science that backs this claim. Have a listen.
Politics aside, what does the research say?
The headline very clearly, Savannah, is that there have been no studies that have definitively shown that Tylenol causes autism. To be fair, the research has shown some inconsistent results when it comes to, is there potentially an association, some strengths as well as limitations of all of the research that we have up to date. I think it's very important that the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists reaffirm the safety of Tylenol for use in pregnancy, especially in the setting of fever, which we know can be harmful for both the baby and the mother. And it's very important to highlight, too, that autism is very multifactorial, right? There's genetic issues, there are environmental risks. And so trying to sort of tease out or pinpoint a singular cause, you really can't do that.
Yeah, it was so wild seeing Trump basically say, case closed, we figured out autism, it's Tylenol. Tylenol's a fever reducer. I learned this when we were pregnant, when my wife was pregnant with my beautiful 16-month-old son. 12 weeks into the pregnancy, my wife got COVID, and she couldn't take a lot of different medicines because she was pregnant, and she got COVID pretty bad, and we had to monitor her temperature, and we had to make sure her temperature didn't get above a certain level. It becomes highly dangerous when you're pregnant to have your body temperature and have a fever above a certain level. Women, I'm telling you, consult your physicians. If you're pregnant out there, do not listen to what the president is saying. Do what's right for your body. But there just isn't any evidence that definitively backs that claim. Like this lady said, it's so multifactorial from it's, and mainly people believe it's genetic what causes autism. And a lot of folks have said, well, but they've, the rate of people being diagnosed autism has increased. Well, that's because the standard for the testing has gotten better, and the scope of what they consider, to be on that spectrum. Tylenol, acetaminophen didn't come out till the 50s, and autism was, something that they were diagnosing in people decades before that. There's just a lot to it. I'm no expert. Certainly Trump is no expert. Continue to consult your physician. That's the only person you should be talking to right now regarding which medication you should take. I hate that I have to say that, folks, but I think my audience is really smart, and I don't think you're falling for this. I appreciate y'all letting me do podcasts like this, which are a little bit heavier than some of the, sillier, more irreverent ones, but it's so important. We don't have the luxury and privilege to have a podcast, to have a YouTube channel, if we're going to deal with threats of censorship from our government. This is an important message, in the support that we have from all of you out there is so greatly appreciated. So thanks again. The comments that have been coming in have been so kind. I've been on my vacation week, still trying to bang out my content for you guys. I'm making it when the baby's taking a nap, and trying to, be a good dad and a good husband while also getting you the content. So I appreciate all the kind words and support. We'll be back this afternoon. We'll see you then. I'm Dave, and this is The Rush.